Good day, everybody. Frank here. Let's get into creating a Nanite landscape. This one here. So I've gone through this a couple times, so I think I'm fairly successful at it. So I'm going to redo one for both for me and for everybody else to encapsulate what I've learned. So if here is a 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer landscape, and if I go into Nanite and throw the triangles on it, you can see that the entire landscape is here and all wonderfully triangled. And we are currently maxing up at my set limit of 120, so in editor at 120. And if I go into play the level as it is, it's empty. But something that I learned was a Nanite landscape loads the entire landscape into when you load up the level. So I had an 8K version for an 8K landscape. Of course, the file size is larger because of the increased resolution of 1 meter per pixel. But then it took like 80 seconds to load. I got a 5950, AMD 5950, and I've got the RTX 6900 XT graphics card. So it's not bottom of the barrel. A few years ago, it was pretty high on the barrel, but that was not a good timeline to be able to have to develop with, and or anybody's going to ever want to sit through. As you can see in my current level here, I just added my water, and that's when I realized I obviously have my 0 plane for my landscape, but I can't sculpt it any lower in my height map. And so I've remade this level in Gaia. That's where this one came from. And the sun's coming up. It's going to be a nice day for the woodcutter once we get some trees for him to cut down. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to capture it for myself and for you, and we will talk about a couple of things. So let's get started. So I'm going to stop this. I'll drop down. We're going to go into Gaia. And just to show you this is my 4K deep water. I've already rendered these out, so we don't need to sit through that at this point in time. But let's just let this build. So this is what it's going to look like. So instead of cutting off at the water level, I've let it go down to its 0, more natural 0, I guess. That island that we were running around on was right here. So there will be all of these features underwater once I get the water added. We'll see how hard I go in this video, because I end up talking too much, obviously. Anyways, so that's where we're going from. Settings wise, we're outputting at a 4033 PNG from this new Unreal load, which works pretty good, I think. I just use it as the basic. I don't do the link yet because I'm not that familiar with it. Build settings, again, the resolution's at 4K, and my terrain is set as an 8K real size, so it's a 2 meter per pixel scale. So we're going to close that and exit that. So that's where we're coming from, and so that's what we're going to do. Right, so let's go into our content browser. Oh, let's go into here, and then we'll do a new level. I'm going to say new level, empty open world, and we'll create. Okay, step 1, we're going to save the world. Save the world. And so this will be my island 4K deep water. Yeah, save that. Okay, so step 1, let's go into our landscape. And we are going to import from file. All of these things, I'm going to talk a little bit about these because they mess you up. There's too many people with too many opinions on them, and here comes mine. Here is my 4K deep water height map. These are my other masking maps that we will be using in my material in a moment. So here's our map. Yeah, okay. So let's we assign it our material. This is my material instance of my 4K landscape material. I can show you a little bit about that when we get there. The main thing is we're going to be a 200 by 200 scale on the X and Y. Z I'm going to leave as 100 because I believe the Unreal node is already correcting for the Z because it seems to come out appropriate. So I'm not touching that one. And we're going to accept these defaults. No, we're not. We're going to fit to data. We're going to call up what this is supposed to be. Because that isn't right. See, this is 4,000 components, which is crazy. Unreal UE 5.5 world partition grid size. I don't know why you did this over here, but let's go here. World partition settings. Nope. Gonna be cutting this. Here we go. World sizes. I should say landscape sizes. That's the one I want. Technical guide. Lots of good stuff to read here. It does get confusing, and I don't, because I think it's written with old thoughts of non-nanite, and then they kind of work the word nanite in once in a while, and it doesn't make sense. But here's the numbers that we're going to want to use right here. So let's, I'm going to just drag that over here, and we'll put them in here. So the number of quads is 63. It's a 2 by 2 sections. And we want 32 by 32. That gets us down to our 4033 overall resolution with a total components of 1024, which then, just to remind you, that's what this is matching out to here. Okay. 1024 components right there. Okay, let's close that down. The other thing I want to do here is when I open my layer, here's all my different layers, my different masking layers, and they all come into a single output. I want to be able to create the weight blended layer info for that, and it'll go into our deep water level shared asset. And that's the only setting in my layers that I need to make. And I believe we are good to go. So I'll import that. And that didn't take very long. So we'll go into, oh, it's still working. I thought that was awfully quick. So I'll just, we'll take a couple minutes. I'll speed this through so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Okay, so that is done. We're back in our world. We don't see anything yet, of course. What I'm going to do is, for the world partition map, I'm going to build the mini map because I think that's something that can happen right now. Don't need to load anything in. It's going to do whatever it's going to do. This will take maybe a minute. Again, I'll speed through it. Okay, this happened to me before, and this drives me a little bit bonkers. Um, these landscape regions obviously don't match up to the size of the landscape. No fear there, though. We'll fix that. Um, what we will do is I will load the whole thing. See, and it's buggered itself up. This happened to me last time. Oh, well, let's, oh, okay, I know what's happening. It's 8K, but it's only a 4K height map. I think that's the problem, or the 2K, maybe it's because of the scaling. But what I believe I did, these are the reasons why I'm recording it. Go back into manage, go back to import, reselect our height map file, and we're going to resample it, and we are going to import. Notice the resample filled the whole landscape area. I don't know. I think that's a bug because there's nothing I did that shouldn't have came in properly. So I'm going to save that. Okay, we can go back into our selection mode. And we got lumpy ground. I think this is gonna work pretty good. Okay, so right now, if I go and I show my nanite triangles, boop, nothing, right? Okay, good. Just so that there's no strange magic going on here, and we're not lit, so we should fix that. We're going to add the sun, moon, day sequencer. And I'm going to put that back to home base. We'll set our daytime preview time to be high noon. For some reason, these things are just like cranked to the max. I don't like point one is a lot. Otherwise, you're just washing out like crazy, and the moon is half that. I think that seems to be something. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to just quickly set here is that the way I'm looking right now should be south. And so I'm going to rotate my component by -90 so that it reflects properly. Other thing I'm going to set here quickly is in the exponential height fog. I'm going to just turn off for now. We'll just turn that off, and the volumetric cloud. Yeah, I'm just going to turn that off too. Okay, it's not what we're focusing on. Okay, so now here's some of the issues or the things that we're going to fix. So we brought that in, and what we want to check in our landscape is I've enabled. Yeah, virtual textures is enabled, I think, for landscapes by default now. This is in 5.5. One thing, so what we want to be able to do here is we're going to enable Nanite, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to leave these settings alone because this is what it's going to build Nanite from, and that's a very nice fine detail. But what we want to do is find it's not collision. We want to use the landscape for culling invisible H-lod vertices. So we're going to select that one. Okay, but we're not going to include this actor in the H-lods itself. With Nanite Landscape, you do not create an H-lod for the landscape. Very important word there is that the landscape, right, does not get an H-lod because the landscape's going to be fully loaded in with Nanite. Okay. So let's fix these things here. So I'm going to go to my material because I need to set a couple of things. So my landscape, I'm going to make a. So this is my landscape material for 4K. If requested, I can go through how this is set up. It's a little bit wonky, but basically all I do is paint. It's just a simple color painting with some noise on it for the different layers, and those different layers are all stacked here into this function of my 4K layer stack. And in here is where we these are all virtual textures, right? So that's the virtual normal. These are virtual colors. So these are all virtual textures because apparently that's a smart thing. And then there's this landscape coordinate thing that needs to, it's a scale factor for me. So it's just a mapping scale to convert textures to the real landscape size because it's at 8K. These are all done at 4K. So that's all that's doing. So what I need to do is, maybe I messed something up. Because this one, I should have made a new material instance from this one for my deep water map. 4K deep water. Okay, so we're going to this material instance. Let me fix that. Material instance. Yeah, that's what I want. So we're gonna open that one. We'll fix it first, and then we'll reapply it to the landscape. Shouldn't be a big deal there. So these are all the masks that are going to come in from Gaia. So let's go and do that. I don't think I have brought those in yet. Let's go into my 4K. Yep, so we'll go into here. We'll make a new folder called Deep Water. And open that. I'm going to go into my file directory on a different screen here. Go in here. And I'm going to grab them. So I'm just grabbing the output PNG files that Gaia created, and I'm just dragging them across. So here they come. Okay, and we will save them all. And now we need to, this height map actually not going to be used for, this is just a texture. We already read in the height map file as the raw PNG. So this one I brought over just for kicks and giggles. So anyways, I'm going to open this puppy up. Now, what we're going to do is, before we enable the virtual texture clicky button, virtual texture streaming, we need to set this to pad to the power of 2 because the imported at 4033, because that's what apparently Unreal wants, but virtual textures need to be power of 2, so it needs to pad, so it's going to put this little strip of black around the corners. And if that becomes an issue, we can always edit these in a GIMP or something like that and fix that up. And we'll enable virtual textures. And we'll push save. And that's all we need to do to that one. Now, there's a right-click menu here to convert to virtual textures. But I don't trust things, so maybe one time I'll work on that, but I don't think you guys need that. So I'm going to just do that to each one of these textures. I'll zip through this so you don't have to watch it all. And I'll talk some more when we get back. Okay, so that is those all fixed up. Now we just need to set them here. So deciduous conifers and shrubs. So that's deciduous conifer and bushes, shrubs. And we'll put that one in there. And yeah, because I'm inside my deep water one. Erosion flows, snow and rivers. Erosion flows, snow and rivers. Flowers, A, B, and C, or main and A, B. Oh yeah, flowers aren't in here. Flowers are used elsewhere. Yeah, for procedural generation, we'll be using those. What's the next one that it wants? Ground cliff moss. Ground slope, cliff slope, and moss slope. Lakes, shoreline, and dead zone. Lake, shore, and dead zone. And normals. Okay, we'll save that. Now, if I go back up, well, I should be able to find it here. So let's find out if this breaks. So many things. Let's find our material. I want the deep water one. I believe it's thinking. Okay. Save. Now, I don't say that this is a perfect landscape for me, because I did make a lot of changes, and right now I'm just coloring it in, but my my river colors are in my river lines, so that's corrected now. So the scaling has all been fixed. Okay, now I can add the ocean in here in a second, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to create this to a nanite landscape now. So we've got our textures applied. We're all virtual texturing. I know that I'm only down at like 100 frames per second. I think that's just because of, well, I don't know why, but I'm hoping that that will improve. I'm going to add a player start in here. And just so we have a spot, I'm going to go into my world settings, and set my game mode so that we got all of that. There's a few other things that I need to do to make things run completely properly, but if I just push play right now, we should drop in, and we're running around. We're sitting at 90 frames per second, which is what we were thinking of, but we're not in Nanite yet, right? Okay, so let's do that part. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So with Nanite, it's going to load the entire map, and that's a good thing. So let's just enable Nanite. This can take a little bit of time. Well, it doesn't take much time to do that. And now we'll build the data. If it takes, I'll probably zip through it for you. You don't have to watch it. But it does. So it's building 256 meshes. And remember, we did. We did 32 by 32. Doing 16 by 16. There's some magic there. I think the math works out somewhere. But anyways, it's going to create these 256 meshes. I don't know the breakdown of the number of sizes that it creates, or chunks this together as it builds it. It might just be that it's just chunking it to build it for memory considerations. Doing this on an 8K landscape takes a fair bit of time. It's like go watch a movie and come back. Well, a short movie maybe, but this goes fairly quickly. What I found was the documentation makes you think that you should create HLODs with Nanite Landscape, HLODs for the landscape itself. I did that, and then what you end up with is a bunch of Z fighting, because in the near distance you have your HLOD loaded, but since Nanite Landscape is fully loaded, you've got these two surfaces, the HLOD one and the Nanite one. See, we're done. Fighting, and so it looks like crap, of course. So I discovered that if I shut off, hid all of the HLOD ones, all of a sudden it was like looked great, and I went, okay, well that's, I think maybe what we're supposed to do. I'm just going to push save here. Always important to save. Okay, And if we go to our lit mode, nanite and triangles, everything's there. And we're pumping at 90 to 100 plus, so that's awesome. Go back to lit. Now, I'm going to go back to world partition. We'll fix these in a moment, but what I'm going to do is grab all of this and unload it. Okay, so it's all gone. And now I'm going to push play. And here we are. So we've loaded in like, what was that, 2 seconds? The entire landscape map is loaded. This is real geometry out there. Right, there's no H-lods. Like if I do the, let's see if I got, look at the triangles. It's all out there. And then, I forget how to turn this off. It's, try this triangle 0. Did it work? See, it did work, but then in the profiler, it comes up constantly that it doesn't know what the heck material 0 is or triangle 0 means. But anyways, we've got that in here. So there you go. There's your Nanite landscape. We're 100 and some frames per second in editor. And if I go to standalone game and let it open up, won't look for it coming in the next year. The Woodcutter. It's gonna be the best game ever. No spoilers. And let me just maximize this little guy. And we will pop the frames up. Yeah, so I've set max to a 120 and I'm at 120 frames per second. Which will be, I think, a pretty good starting point for a fully loaded landscape. No H-lods loaded. And there we go. Let me cancel that. This is great. Now, to fix these things, if you're still sticking around, because you might as well learn how to know how to fix them in case it ever happens, and you don't want to re-import everything and figure out why you're doing this, because I think as soon as when you switch to 2x2 components as opposed to the 1x1, I think it counts these wrong. I think it's counting sections as opposed to components, because here's 2x2 components, right? It should have counted out 8 each or something. I don't know. Anyways, to fix them, I'm going to our landscape, and here's our landscape regions, right? So there they are. They're selected. To do this easily, I am going to load the whole map in again. Okay, and now we can see them. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the vertical size of them because they don't need to go to bloody infinity and beyond. And then we're going to change them, of course. And I think the size I want them to be, we'll start with one. We'll start with this one in this corner. And the scale of them, because this is double, because it goes both ways. So like 9x4, 9x2. I think if I recall, it was like 1008. It's a funny number. And that seems to be on the corner there. Why did it? Oh, it isn't double. I'm very confused. Let's times that by 2. Because it needs to be double. So let's drag this up to there. And bring it to there. Oh, it was my center location was 1008. That's what it was. I remember 1008 in there somewhere. Okay. So then that's this one. I'll drag it over here somewhere. We'll put it at 1008. And 2016 plus 1008. I guess that's probably 1008 times 3. 3024. See if that works. And then the scale is 2016, just a few years ago. Okay. I'll grab this one because there's no fantastical mystery with these things. You can always delete them and add them back, and as long as they're in the landscape folder, they'll do what they're supposed to do, which is for Nanite, not a heck of a lot, because the whole thing gets loaded. These are more for being able to easily select them and load them in while you're working on your actual project. And then our last one here. Okay, so now that's tiled out. And if I save that and look back at my world partition map, and then if I unload everything, if I just select one of these regions, you know, this region here, and say load selected region. Okay, so oh yeah, that's the selected region, not the one that I've got selected in the viewport. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, so that way that you can work on a quadrant at a time. But if you just wanted to load this little section over here, load region from selection, then you can just load that one piece. Although that doesn't seem to match up, does it? That's weird. Can do that again. So if I just wanted to work on this part here, yeah, so that's correct. Those are matching up with the sections in the thing, right? If I try to load a larger section, it comes in. Okay. So now let's do, this is, for all of those that wanted to see, let's see what happens. We're going to add our water. Yeah. We'll add a, I want to do an ocean. No, I'll type it up here. Water body ocean. Okay. It'll want to rebuild some shit, but we'll do that in a second. Let's go to our water body ocean. We'll put him back to 0. And we've flooded out our whole world. All right. And then what we want to do is we want to find the effects landscape and uncheck that, because otherwise it just sunk our whole world. And so now I've got deeper water around my island. And my blue color was the mass that was created from Gaia. So if I take my water body ocean and grab its Z and just drag it up a touch, that seemed to match it up pretty close. There we go. How cool is that? The land bridge over here to the next level of the world, maybe. And the reason why I'm just painting, because with Nanite, you just build everything else. You don't need to worry about texturing anything. In my view, you just fill it with geometry. You know, like all your trees, all your rocks, everything else. That's why I've got all of those maps for all of the different slopes and things. And so we will use procedural generation and get everything in place. So let's just in the viewport here, push play, and let's go and check out our water. Here comes the sun. It's a good day for fishing. Yeah, and this is that motion matching stuff. Got that included in here, which is pretty fun. Oh, it's pretty wavy water. We might want to settle some of that down, but it's pretty deep too. Gonna have to have some scuba gear or something like that to explore the underwater world. That'll be fun. Yeah, and stick it around 90 to 100 frames per second with this much geometry loaded, I think is pretty amazing. Okay, and last thing I want to do here, just because nobody else is watching anymore anyways, is find my exponential height fog. Well, let's turn on our volumetric cloud first. Turn that on. Now, these are so many settings in here, but I think all you need is really raise your altitude of your cloud. I think this is basically in tens of thousands of feet. So if if you wanted to go into a cloud atlas, you'd find 10,000 feet is like a altocumulus kind of cloud level. And then the layer height is the thickness of that layer. So we make it like 4,000, just a more sunny day. Maybe we can raise that up a little bit. That'll make them a little bit smaller as they get higher and higher. Maybe 16,000 feet. Yeah, 16,000 foot altocumulus. 2,000 feet deep. That looks like a pretty nice sunny day. It's always going to be a nice, beautiful day here. And then we can turn on our exponential height fog, which, again, the most confusing thing in the world is that it's volumetric fog, or it isn't. So we turn it on. See, and if I turn off the volumetric fog, I still have. You still have exponential height fog, which makes some of these settings actually do stuff. But if you turn fog density down to, so fog density and fog fall off apply to both. And I don't know, it just, because down here there's start distances and end distances for volumetric fog. So, they need to clean this up, because these two fog densities need to be separate. Yeah. Anyways, I'll play with those. You don't need to watch that, but feel free to play with those and confirm it to yourself one way or another. But I'm done here. What's this? We got one warning. It wants to rebuild the nanite meshes because I added the water in, and so we'll let it do that. No big deal. Done. Save it. It's got to update its shadow maps. Once it figures that out, everything will look back to normal. And yeah, that is the, there you go. That is the new way. Oh, Nanite Landscape. 100 frames per second. Ciao, baby. Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a while since I made a video. If you want to see some of the other things, how want to watch my other series there on creating the template that I've built this from. There are some things in here that I need to update my template to include, including the motion matching, but that's still pretty experimental, so I don't know if I want to add it into there yet. But yeah, let me know if you want to see some more about the material. It's a simple material, and if you're always outputting these same channels from your Gaia landscapes, if that's the process you want to involve, you can basically, you saw the entire process that I did, and all of a sudden, boom, you're into your world, and everything is painted as appropriate as you wanted it to be. I'm not crazy about this one exactly because there's too much snow on it, but maybe I'll leave it for now because I'm just fucking around. Oh, pardon my language. But maybe I'll leave it, or I can always just paint it out with something else. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you're still here, throw a like, subscribe if you like, and let me know what else would you like to see. Thanks so much, and have a great